We didn't retire rich.
We didn't win the lottery.
And we didn't have some perfect master plan either.
Yeah, but what we did have is a moment where we realized that if we didn't change something now, it's never going to change.
And if you've ever felt stuck like we did, burned out like we did, or wondered if early retirement or slow travel is actually possible for normal people, then I think this video is for you.
Yep, I think so. Hi, we are Tyke and Tina from Tyke and Tina Adventures. And not long ago, we were living a normal life like most people, and we were working hard. We were doing what we were supposed to do, and we were waiting for retirement someday, when we're like 70 or 75.
Yeah, and that someday just seemed to keep moving. The goal kept moving forward and forward. And Tina spent years as a nurse caring for other people in addition to owning her own business. And I just worked nonstop. I was always chasing the next milestone, the next record, the next whatever my job required for me to achieve or not to achieve.
Mm-hmm. And from the outside, everything looked fine, but from the inside, something just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And that's why we started thinking about early retirement. We weren't super happy with the way our lives, we were happy, but we weren't happy thinking about retirement 20 years from now. And we were really getting tired and burnt out from all the work, the 40 years in the workforce.
Yeah, we just kept saying what I'm sure a lot of you say, or have heard yourself say, or heard others say, is that, well, just a few more years, work hard now, you can rest later, 6 feet under maybe, or that's just life. That's just how life works.
Is. Yeah, but the truth is that our time isn't guaranteed. Tyke has lost his father. I've lost both of my parents. We've seen loved ones go quickly, unexpectedly. So time is not guaranteed, and our energy is not unlimited. Mm-hmm. We know that as we're getting older, things are getting slower and harder, and health isn't something that you can get back later.
Yeah, and we didn't want to wait until we were like old enough, comfortable enough to finally live. Mm-hmm. I've seen people that could have retired years before they did, and unfortunately never made that milestone. A major illness hit, or they passed away for some reason. But again, it just kept reinforcing that none of this is guaranteed.
So we asked ourselves one simple question: what if we stopped waiting? What a simple question, right? What if we just stopped waiting? What if we just decided to retire now? And so that's what we did. Tyke retired about a year before I did, and then I just got tired of working while he was retired, and I just said, you know what? By the time I turn 55, I'm going to retire. And we did. And the way we made that possible is we sold everything, like everything. We have maybe 5, Costco bins that we have stuff stored in, and we sold our home, and we decided, why not travel Southeast Asia? It's really inexpensive. We started researching what life could look like outside of this traditional path of work until you're 70. And Southeast Asia just kept coming up over and over and over.
We networked with people that were actually doing it and started participating in these online communities. We haven't met these people yet.
We'll link that in the description.
But that's where we discovered it wasn't just cheap. I would substitute that word for inexpensive, because the quality of life there is quite extraordinary. And in some really ways, I would say even better than here in the United States.
The quality of life is high. The people are so kind. The pace is just slower. It's just really relaxed and nice. Healthcare is accessible.
Great healthcare.
If you've seen our video on seeing a doctor in Vietnam, you'll know that healthcare is very accessible and like top notch. And your money just goes farther.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you can just stretch that dollar
Yeah.
really, really far.
Yeah. It's shocking until you've actually experienced it.
Yeah. So instead of just sitting here surviving, working our 9-to-5 jobs, paying out more than we're bringing in sometimes barely making enough, sometimes we have a little bit extra, but it costs, I don't know what most people spend in the United States, but I would say it's around $8,000 a month. 2-income families, everybody's just trying to make it work. So instead of surviving, we decided we wanted to actually live our lives.
And the numbers are numbers. Some people live on less, some people have more, but it's really relative to you. So if you feel like, man, if I stop today, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to pay my mortgage, etc.? And that creates a lot of pressure within your, first and foremost, you and your relationships and your families and things like that. And we've all heard the phrase, keeping up with the Joneses. Well, I can tell you, once you check out of that system, so to speak, no one really cares.
No.
They don't care what you have. They don't care what house you have, the car you drive.
No,
none of that. It's
none
no
of it
longer
matters.
a thing.
No. So we did a lot of things with our budget. We cut a lot of things out. We've gotten rid of all of our streaming services. We pay $10 a month for our cell phone plan, and then when we travel, we have an Air Allo eSIM that we pay.
And we own our phones.
Yes.
So
we own our phones, so that makes it possible to pay $10 a month for it's a U.S. service called Tello. We have a video about our Tello plan.
And anybody can do that. You don't have to retire to get it.
You can do it in the U.S.
today.
Yeah, as long as your phone is paid for, you can pay $10 a month. They actually have a $5 and an $8 plan, but the $10 a month plan works for us. So we just cut all of our expenses. We stopped buying things to fill up. You get a new house, and then you have to have new furniture, and then you have to have lawn equipment, and then you have to have a bigger, fancier car. And we just stopped that, and we sold everything, and we just really dwindled our budget down to the bare minimum. And then we have been slow traveling Southeast Asia, and everything is so cheap. We actually just booked another month-long stay in Thailand for $450 a month for the accommodations. That includes your power, utilities, your place to stay, everything but food and transportation.
Yeah, it's an apartment-style complex. You get a kitchen, a full bath, a nice little tidy living area and bed, and a balcony. But more than that, you get a large swimming pool with a lazy river, a great exercise facility, and you're within 5 minutes walking distance to anything you need.
The beach and everything. Yeah. So we realized that living simply in Southeast Asia, it's going to cost way less than staying stressed back home. So that just changed our whole world. We decided to start slow traveling. This is really important. We're not on a never-ending vacation.
Yeah.
We are slow traveling. So we're just living the same life we would back in the States, but we're doing it in Southeast Asia.
In another country.
Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia,
even
Philippines, China, Hong Kong, staying weeks at a time or a month at a time in one place saves you a little bit more money that way on your accommodations. We do grocery shopping. We've made lots of friends. Yeah. We like finding certain little drink shops to go and have our sodas.
Coffee and delis and food.
Bakeries.
Food carts, street food. Oh, yeah.
And we create routines.
Yeah.
We get up, we exercise, we swim, we go to the beach, we go for walks. The same things we would do at home in the States, but
just in another location.
Just different. And we're slow traveling, so we could see all the different areas and decide, is this someplace we want to live forever, or do we just want to keep slow traveling and see everything else? There's so many things to see.
Yeah.
So slow travel isn't about checking things off of a list. Or countries off of a list. It's just about living the life that we want to live, just somewhere else.
And transparency and honesty it's less stressful. I mean,
So
when you don't
much
have to get
less
up in the
stressful.
morning and go to work and put in your time, and we all work more than 40 hours a week, let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't, then good for you, but I'm sorry, I never worked less than 50 to 60 hours a week or more. And and the other thing is it's so much less expensive than the United States in almost every aspect. There's a few exceptions, but nothing that you couldn't get through the day without.
Right.
And
Well,
then
we were just talking the other day
Yeah.
about like a Snickers bar in the U.S. is like $2, sometimes a
more.
little more than $2. And we have a candy that we like in Southeast Asia that's kind of like a whatchamacallit bar, like kind of like a candy bar, and it's 60 cents. No, what was it? 30 cents.
30 cents
It's 30 cents for a
for the
candy
large
bar.
one, for their large
And then
version.
if we go to Starbucks, we like to get a refresher at Starbucks, and they're like $5 or more. And there's a drink that is just as refreshing that we like in Southeast Asia that's 60 cents for the drink. So it's a huge difference, and it makes
Yeah.
a big dent in your budget.
Yeah, it really does. And there's that you've got the stress factors reduced. There's the financial component, and there's just less running around. You just don't feel like you have to rush to work and rush back from work and run to somewhere in the evening, and you've got that pace that you can adapt to your lifestyle and what you want to do.
Way more relaxing. And then we also have the emotional side. So that's something that people don't usually talk about. Early retirement isn't just a financial decision, it's also an emotional one. So you have to let go of things like expectations, opinions, especially sometimes they're your own beliefs that you have, and sometimes they're other people's opinions. And then the idea that your worth is based on your job. Your worth equals what you do for a living, which is not true, but we have that emotional attachment to, I am a nurse. So if I stop working as a nurse, what am I? So you have to kind of overcome that, and it does feel scary.
You can at first. You kind of have to find your groove. I mean, when I stopped working, I had to film. My days were set in stone at work. I knew exactly what I was doing and what dragons I was going to slay that day and everything else. And then I had to adapt to a different schedule, one that was mostly of our own doing between Tina and I. Mm-hmm. But after a while, it was so freeing not to have to worry about who do I have to please today at work, and who's going to bust my chops when I get to work today, and what HR issue do I have to deal with, etc. And it just becomes you just kind of throw your hands up after a while and go, really?
Yeah.
But when you're retired,
all of a sudden you wake up excited again.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you feel present. You feel free. And not every day is perfect. We're not here to say that. We'll always be
life.
honest with you. But every day feels intentional. Mm-hmm. And that's what this channel is really about. We're not here to pretend that everything is perfect, because we all know that life is not perfect. You're going to get thrown some curveballs. But it's going to be about real numbers. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. Real life. And the good, the hard, and the unexpected. That's what we're going to talk to you about in this channel. What kinds of things are we going to share?
Oh gosh, what things really cost overseas when we were there, and what we're looking at going forward. We're keeping a tab on cost of living in the countries that we've visited and the ones we're going to visit again. How we retired early without being filthy rich.
Being rich.
I know people that are, and they still haven't retired.
Yeah.
There's fear of loss, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
What slow travel is actually like, and that you are surprisingly not alone in this.
Oh, yeah.
When you get out into the world, there are a lot of other people
many
doing
people.
this. You'll run into them randomly everywhere. You'll network. We highly recommend that you network hopefully with us to begin with, but if you aren't already, start following some of the people that are doing the same thing. And if you're already doing it and send us a link, we'd love to follow you back.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's how regular people, how you can design a different kind of life.
Yep. And so if you're curious or nervous or maybe inspired or just maybe quietly dreaming about that day that you might be able to retire to, then you are in the right place.
And the invitation is not just to follow our channels and look at what we've done. If you have questions really literally everything.
Yeah.
It took us 14 months to downsize. And
Yep,
I
it's a
spearheaded
process.
our efforts to sell off and gift away most of our belongings. And everything from selling your car, your RV, your collection of trinkets, whatever it is, if it's something that you need to get rid of, I can probably help you.
Yes, Tyke is the master salesman. So if this video resonates with you, we would love for you to subscribe and stick around and follow along in our journey. We're not here to tell you what to do, but we are here to tell you what is possible.
Absolutely. And we'd love to help. So please drop us any comments or questions. Nothing's out of range. Just whatever came to mind, shoot us a question. Tyke and Tina, how do you do this? How do you do that?
If two regular people like us can make this dream happen, then you might be closer than you think to choosing freedom. Thanks
Absolutely.
for being here.